How's it going, everybody? We've actually got something crazy to talk about today, and no, the title is not clickbait. I genuinely believe this. This is probably the coolest and craziest thing that Psyonix / Rocket League Esports has ever done. I'll explain in a sec. Bear in mind with me. But what this does, this is a different way to go about Rocket League Esports, and honestly, I'm all for it. And just candidly, letting teams pick who they play for the first round of RLCS based upon how well they performed throughout the year. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's talk about this in detail. We're going to do 3 things in this video. Number 1, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening, how it's come to be, what it means. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk some strategy with chat and try to figure out how the heck this is going on. And then number 3, we're going to do a mock draft. We are going to act as if we are each one of these organizations with a draft pick, and we're going to try to pick the perfect matchup for us. It's going to be absolutely insane. So with that said, let's talk about the actual tweet that Psyonix just put out. This happened literally a couple seconds ago. We're hanging out live. Twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us every day but Tuesday and Sunday. Warshi's dropping subs. That's how you know it's live. So Psyonix / Rocket League Esports says, hey, tune in for a special episode of First Touch. This will be going down on Wednesday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, where to determine the first round of Swiss, for those that don't know the wild card, the way that it works is the teams that are ranked overall from 9th to 24th are going to play in a Swiss style format. 9 would play normally 24. They would beat whoever wins or loses, then goes to the upper side of the bracket. This is how they did things in fall. If you don't remember, whoever gets 3 wins first ends up progressing to the next format. Whoever gets 3 losses ends up getting eliminated. That's how you find out the next iteration of teams. Instead of just doing it based upon overall seeds, they are allowing the higher ranked teams from 9 to 16 to pick their opponent. That is insane. That has never been done. But it's basically like a lottery draft, but with, manipulation based on who you're picking. So you have the best ranked team. They draw from a hat. They pick a team. Instead, now they're saying, hey, you have 8 teams on the other side. Who do you want to play? And because of V1's performance lately, their first draft, and they do their drafting order. We tried to predict the order last week, and we got everything right except for one because I made a big oopsie. I took APAC with Gaming Gladiators for overall points when it should have been Tokyo Verde. Tokyo Verde should have been there because APAC North made 2 lands while APAC South only made 1. So if we swap those, that'll give us our seeding and what we have. So Tokyo Verde goes here, and then all of this doesn't matter. It literally does not matter, because what's going to happen now is these teams in order are going to draft from the remaining rosters. So if we go over to the other side, and we're going to enhance this. These are your seeds based upon results and how things are played. V1 is going to look through all of these teams, and then they're going to pick a team, and that's who they play in the first round. Renegades is then going to pick for the remaining, and it's going to keep happening until what we get for our first round match. That's how they determine the first. It's actually nuts to see that's how it's being done. Never in my dreams did I think Psyonix was going to do it this way. I don't know who convinced them to do it. If it was Gibbs, we're probably going to give Gibbs the credit. But doing this style of draft, I think, is awesome. And the fact that we get to watch it live is even better. I have done recently draft tournaments with Pittsburgh Knights about you can draft 1 content creator and you can draft 1 pro. And the thought process is based upon my seed. The strategy that I usually put into it is I usually look and say, okay, I need to, with content creator, pick the best content creator because all pros are good. Every pro is good. Not all content creators are made equal. And while you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I want this player. Maybe I'm 4th pick. Okay, that player I wanted first goes away. Who's my next in line? Trying to preemptively look at that and figure things out is going to be so stressful. If you're 5th, 6th draft and you're looking for a specific team and all of a sudden they're still on the board and you get that, oh, it's going to be, I'm curious to see how teams go about this. So the strategy behind this, I think you can view in 2 ways. You can either A, get a tough matchup out of the way right away. I don't think that's the play. I think you want to play and get wins guaranteed as quickly as possible. So if I'm version 1, I'm probably going to pick one of the weakest teams, whoever I deem that to be. And there's strategies that come in within that. While you may think a team is weak or not, may be different from other teams. Play style matchups, what you prepare for, all the strategy and depth that I want in Rocket League is just in this one draft. and I'm so happy about it. So with that said, last but not least, let's try to make a mock draft. Chat, let's do this together. Should be a lot of fun. Chat, initially, I would assume you go with SSA, but just because they don't have as much experience and are going to be a team that, although solid, may be lacking in the like aggressiveness of things. You could also maybe pick something you're familiar with. Obviously, Trav says that V1 picks Optic Giga Chad. V1 has an extremely good track record against Optic. Maybe you do that. So there's a lot of different ways you can approach this. If I'm version 1, I'm probably picking Orlando Pirates, I would say. Maybe. Bravado's been... Who's been playing better lately? Bravado's been crushing it lately, haven't they? So Bravado won the last 2 regionals. So do you take Pirates or do you take Bravado? Because Bravado just won... No, Pirates just won Regional 3 of Spring, didn't they? No, they won Regional 1, 2, and 3. So Pirates won Regional 1, 2, and 3 were Bravado. So who do you take? Do you take the most recent? Do you take overall results? I think Bravado's been playing better recently, so maybe you take Pirates. Maybe that's what you do. So that's probably what I would pick if I'm V1. You could also go with someone like Gaming Gladiators. True, you've played them before. What do you want to do? I probably either go with it, and this is where it's difficult, right? This is where like the coaches are going to be earning their paycheck here. Yeah, I honestly don't know if there's an easy answer, but I say you probably go Pirates just for the like immediate, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, I assume SSA is the weakest region. I'm going to pick one of the SSA teams and try to get a win as quickly as possible. Who's playing better lately? Bravado's playing better. Okay, I go with Pirates. Now for Renegades. Renegades is then up next in the drafting order. Renegades does have a pretty good track record against Furia, so maybe they play Sam, but I would assume they also go Bravado. As for Dignitas, do you go Mina or do you go Gaming Gladiators? I'd probably go APAC, and that's how I would pick this matchup personally. I agree with you on chat. That's probably what I would do. I would try to dodge Mina. Now, for Space Station Gaming, Semper, Optic, Veloce, The Club, and 01. I assume you want to dodge Veloce. Honestly, if I'm Space Station, picking Optic wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, if you look at their head-to-heads, it's ugly. So here, let's do this. This is EU 6 seed. This is NA 6 seed, Mina 2, Mina 3, and this is Sam 3. There's your seeds. So that's what you're going up against. So this is where it gets more interesting. Space Station, I think, has a couple things that they can do. They can go with something they're familiar with that they know how to beat. They could go with something where it's considered like a lesser team, whatever you want to equate that to. I think they probably go the club and give the respect where it's due towards 0-1. Maybe you go 0-1. Also, what happens if visa issues continue to be a thing and we don't get to see these teams play? Like, yeah, what happens if certain teams can't even attend? Like, oh my goodness. Because that changes everything about the pick order too, right? Like, Space Station, I think they go the club probably. I don't know if you go the club or 0-1. I mean, at Gamers 8, they took top 8. Or their 3v3 results, they were... Well, they 3-0'd Renegades in 3v3s. So, I'm probably dodging 0-1, honestly. I'm probably going to dodge 0-1. I would take the club. The club's no joke either, but I dodge 0-1. Heck that. 0-1's pretty solid. K-Corp now. K-Corp has to pick either Mina, North America. If I'm K-Corp, I'd probably go Optic here. Either go Optic or Semper. Probably Optic. Chat, what do you guys think? Boone says Semper. Juice says Optic. I think SSG goes Optic. I wouldn't be surprised with that either. I think SSG should be very confident against Optic. I could see that too. Semper has been bad lately in case you know them. I mean, Semper played pretty dang well at Gamers 8, in my opinion. I think Semper played pretty solid at Gamers 8. I think they probably go Optic. Or I could see this as well. I could see that happening as well. That seems to me pretty realistic, actually. I could see Space Station be like, yo, we're familiar with them. Our playstyle works really well against them because they're super defensive. We can exploit that. Yeah, they played better. They play well on land, but I can take them. Then K-Corp takes the club. Again, this is just a mock-up. Like, this probably won't happen, and I'm okay with it. But, and then KCP, Pioneers decide to go Semper. And then you have to be like, well, who's better? And you go like that, right? Is that what you get? I mean, if that's what your matchups are for round 1, yeah, I think the intimidation with Mina is justified for sure. I think Veloce probably wins that match. I think 0-1 and Team Secret is probably the best match you're asking. I think that's a great match. Potential upset here if Optic somehow does the defensive bamboozle. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. These are the tough ones to pick. Like these here. So I think that's a lot of fun. These go down at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. That's what I've got for my mock draft. I honestly have no idea what it's going to turn into or what it's going to look like, but it kind of gives you a general idea of how this could play out. But again, I honestly think this is such a cool way to do this. Maybe they regret it. Maybe we see Psyonix come back to this and go, gosh, why did we decide to make that decision? It was such a bad idea. We should have just stuck to the overall rankings and done something that way. But I think that is such a cool concept of how to let teams have their results impact who they pick, the storylines that we get coming out of Wildcard, what that's going to mean for who goes into what group. Like, it completely changes the like structure that we know and transforms past it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, whoever made that decision, massive kudos and thumbs up. Absolutely love the way that it's going to go. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So with that said, that is going to do it for today's video. This came out literally just a second ago, and I'm glad we can get it to you guys by earliest ways possible. But let me know what you guys have. What are your matchups? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm interested to see always what the community sees as the rankings and who they value more than others. But that is going to do it for today's video. We have our official seeding. We'll know officially who is playing together as of like mid-afternoon on Wednesday. I'll be watching it live. Twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us. We're going to be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, the 27th. Come tune in with us. We'll watch these live. We'll talk about it. Maybe the decision that goes into it. And it should be a good time. So hopefully we see you there. And as always, if you enjoy the content, thumbs up, subscribe, notifications, as it helps me out greatly. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.